Now that we have our 2017 STI ready for the dyno, wow dude, makes my forehead look big. So now that we have our 2017 STI ready for the dyno, we need to get this 07 STI ready to go to the dyno as well. I have a couple parts that we're gonna be swapping over on this thing, but for the most part, it's gonna be doing just some pre-dyno checks on the car. It's still a fresh build. We have about 150 miles on it. It's been doing great. I do wanna run through it, just do a double check for oil leaks. I wanna do a boost leak test, so I have a little tester guy back there that I made from stuff that I got from Home Depot. I have a feeling we got some boost leaks because the vacuum on the car at idle is a little bit low. It's around 8 when it should be around like 9 to 10 at. I think what we're gonna start with today is just kind of playing part swap first, just to kind of knock out these parts that I have over here in the passenger seat. I've got a new steering column trim piece because this car came with the OEM boost gauge, and there's just, it's got some like holes and some crusties and some old broken glue on there, and I'd like to just get that off. We have new exhaust hangers to fix the exhaust from rubbing on the rear differential. I got in the replacement third brake light for the wing, so we're gonna pop the wing off, and then I also got in our Cusco front sway bar, which that is the front sway bar. I made sure on that one. First thing I want to start with is the third brake light on the wing right here. I don't know why they painted over it when they resprayed the car, but for some reason they did. I found this one on 541 Motorsports for like 80 bucks. These OEM brand new were like $400, so if I can get a secondhand one that works just fine, so be it. So all we gotta do, pop the trunk, take the wing off. There's 2 screws down there. We got to feed a wire to where it's going. Then we can put that new brake light in, wire it all back in, test it works, and get it down. The wing also is kind of loose, so I'm gonna see if there's some like broken pop clips in there. If so, I would like to fix that as well, so that way the wing isn't loose, because obviously we don't want a loose wing. I don't know what it is about these used STIs and all of the wings always being like dickered up. Oh, thank you. On this middle brake lamp assembly, it's just a couple screws that hold this guy down. So we'll pop these screws off, get the old one out. We're gonna have to fish the wiring out from over here also. Oh, is this just a garnish? Okay, so that piece is just a garnish. And then here's the actual light assembly. Fixing this Hawkeye, one part at a time. We got this grommet right here for it. And then over here, I would assume that this would be another grommet, but I can tell you right now it's gonna suck ass. Because it doesn't just unplug from the light. And of course it broke. Let's see if I can somehow get this wire. Oh! I don't know how the fuck I just did that. I need to do this in a way where this is not going to come off. I honestly have no idea how I perfectly just did that. In you go. I'm just gonna put the grommet in. Okay. Now before I put that garnish on, I'm gonna try to see if I can't. Hey, look at that. There we go. I won't be able to see if that lights up, so I need you guys to tell me. Does it light up? Is it good? Honestly, it's such a little detail, but I notice it and it looks better factory like that. I still prefer that wingless look, man. I love the wingless look on these things, and I will eventually go wingless on this car, and I know some of you guys will be like, keep the wing forever, keep the wing, keep the wing. The wing doesn't look bad. But I deep down I prefer the wingless. Right now, I'm just glad that that third brake light actually works. For $100, well worth it, because like I said, all the brand new ones that I was stumbling across were like $450 plus, so, or like $350 to $400. So for that, $100, I'm happy with it. Like I said, this car came factory with the boost gauge that was on the steering column, and you guys can see all that like gunk and whatnot. I don't know why I feel compelled and I feel the need to go through and fix all this little stuff, but for some reason I do, especially for a car that I daily drive. I want it feeling and looking clean, and it's just like little shit like that that just bothers me. So to be honest, I think this one is actually from a Bug Eye because it's got that little red light on the top of it. Same piece of plastic. It just, this one has a little red light. Why aren't we focusing? This one just has a little red light on it. So there's just one screw on the bottom right there, then this bottom piece will pop off, and then after that there's two of those posts that have screws that go through them, and then just that clip right in the middle. So swap this guy out and get a fresh, nice, clean one on here. Plus this one's broken right by the key trim right there. I don't know why. But see, that's the thing. Everybody sees like these clean GDs and they wonder why the prices are so high on clean, fixed up 02 to 07 WRXs. I'm gonna say regardless of mileage. I've sold some pretty high mileage ones that I've gone through and fixed for a decent penny, but it's like people wonder why these things are so expensive now. It's this shit. There's just so much of this like little crap on them that's broken that nobody ever wants to fix. Like the rear cup holders in this car are broken too, so I bought OEM new ones to fix that. And it's just they're almost 20-year-old cars now for these 07s. 04s are 20 years old. They're actually 21 years old because they came out in 03. But you wonder why you see GDs selling for the prices that they do. This is why. There's just a whole bunch of little shit wrong with them that not everybody will go through and fix. And I don't blame people for not fixing them. It's a Subaru. But if you want like a clean example of one, you're gonna pay a premium for it. What is going on here? That thing did not want to come out at all. So now that we got the couple little OEM replacement guys done, we're gonna go ahead and jump back here and do the exhaust hangers. So the exhaust just sits a little bit lower. I'd like to be a little bit higher and tucked up. Plus these hangers will keep the exhaust from hitting the rear differential because it's been doing that a lot and it just sounds so annoying driving this thing with that exhaust just smacking metal to metal the entire time. So these exhaust hangers should fix it. They're Cartboy. I wanna say they're a little bit shorter than these OEM ones, and these OEM ones are a little bit blown out just because they're old. So should help fix this nicely. Now the easiest way to do this is grab your exhaust hanger grab your exhaust hangers, grab your exhaust hanger pliers. If you don't have a set of these, I will link these down below because these things do make doing this so much easier. And then a little bit of grease just to lube these guys up so that way you can slide them on a lot easier. And then you got one hanger on the left side of the muffler, one on the right side of the muffler there. There's also one down there also, but I only bought two. If I feel like I need to buy a third one, I'll buy a third one, but I think these two should push this thing up just enough for me to get it kind of where I want it. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I see much difference. I think it sits a little bit higher and it's a little more centered in that exhaust cutout, but I mean, it's definitely stiffer, I'll give it that. Those stock bushings that I just pulled out on that thing were beat, dude. They are so oblonged and old. I'm sure these are the original ones. So, you know, it was probably time for new ones anyways, so it definitely feels a lot more stiff on there. Want to jump up here to start boost leak testing this thing. Now, if you don't know what that's going to entail, it is literally just us going to be removing this little hose here, removing this guy, and then putting a coupler type deal that I have on here, and we're just going to be compressing the entire engine full of compressed air. I think I made this from Home Depot for like $6. It's just a couple of hose clamps. It's the same diameter as the intake, so it'll just sit right there. We'll get a hose to fill up that Schrader valve and start putting compressed air through everything. As compressed air is going through the entire system, what we're gonna do is take a little bit of soapy water and we're just gonna spray around and look for any potential vacuum leaks, because I'm fairly confident that this car has some somewhere. First thing I wanna do is loosen this clamp here. I'm gonna try to take this off without popping off the intake, but I actually may need to take off the intake. Well, that's gonna suck to put back on, but I got it off. I made this guy to come out. Look at that. So all this is a PVC attachment put on a piece of silicone that I have with some hose clamps and then a Schrader valve sealed onto it. So you fill up the Schrader valve and it'll pressurize the system, and then we listen for boost leaks. You can use soapy water. I'm gonna use the listening method first, see if I can find any just by like feeling and hearing and whatnot. If we come across any, we obviously just fix them, tighten up the leaks, and be good to go. All right, so I got some soapy water. I'm just gonna go around, spray some spots, look for boost leaks. If I see bubbling coming out, then obviously we got a boost leak. That whole area. Look at that. So far, that's all I'm seeing. And if that's the only boost leak that we have is off this whole little area right here that I welded, we can fix that pretty easily. I'll just go over it again and weld it again and just kind of clean it up a little bit more, add a little bit more filler rod and try to smooth this out a bit. That seems to be the only spot, is right off of where the bypass valve meets up with that charge pipe, which explains why our vacuum is so far off. All right, let me go through and wipe up all this soapy water that I sprayed everywhere. We'll leave this disassembled for now, and then we'll jump down, we'll do the sway bar, we'll swing over to the shop, weld that thing up, and see if that changes anything. So just like we did in the last video where we tried to put on that rear sway bar that I have chilling over there, we do have the proper front sway bar for this car. Double check the part numbers, this is the proper one. So we are gonna toss on this Cusco front sway bar. This is also a 22 millimeter, a little bit bigger than stock. What this sway bar will do is match the rear for this thing, so that way once we do get the proper rear sway bar in, they'll both be same front and back, so it should help with the suspension quite a bit. Popping the front sway bar off is going to be very similar to how we did it in the rear. If you look right here, here is the sway bar that comes up. You've got one bracket on each side like that, 212s, just take off the 212s, and then you got your end links here. If you have your H-frame, you're either going to have to remove the H-frame to get that out or fanoodle with it. I say just remove the H-frame. It's gonna make your life a hell of a lot easier. So we're gonna get that sway bar out, get these end links out, get everything swapped over, and we should be good to go after that. Front Cusco sway bar installed. I am gonna have to order the proper end links because my dummy self ordered ones for an 08 Plus, so I can use the 08 Plus ones. The 17 STI needs a set, but sway bars in should make a decent difference in driving. So now I want to pop that intercooler pipe off. I'm not even going to put the car back together because we already have the pressure tester and the boost tester hooked up on the STI. We're going to go ahead and grab that one intercooler pipe that's leaking, hop in the GTI over there, swing over to the shop, weld that thing up, bring it back over, test it again, and hope that we have corrected our boost leak. I'm just going to go over those welds, clean them up a decent amount. Got it welded on there. Now, I don't need you guys jumping down in the comments. That looks like shit. I know, okay? I know. I just want it to seal at this point. For some reason, this billet flange on a pipe is just kicking my ass. And I just cannot get between the pipe and the flange very well. And it's already dirty and it's already contaminated. So I don't need you to yell at me, okay? I'm yelling at myself. I already know it's not great. It is welded up. I'm gonna let this cool. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of Scotch-Brite. There are no more pinholes. I can see a constant weld going all the way around it. So in theory, it should seal. If it doesn't seal, I'll just bring it to someone else. Be like, hey, can you just clean this up? Make sure it seals. Not the end of the world. But I'd rather try my hand at it first before just giving it to someone else. Right there's where we were leaking. I still see bubbles. I'm just gonna order a blow-off valve. I know that I always tell you guys run a bypass valve, but in this case, this bypass valve is just too big with the way that Cobb has it. I can't run this adapter. It's just, I'm at maximum depth for where this can be. I can definitely hear it. So I just got dropped off a ton of LED stuff and lighting stuff because half the taillights, half the light bulbs, half the bulbs in the taillights are out and dead. And same with the interior lights, only one of them works. I don't understand, like when you have a car and you have like all these little things that break, why don't you just fix them as they break? So that way you don't have like a million things to fix. Unless you're getting rid of the car, then you just don't care. But you know, it's beside the point. I just don't get it. Like with my cars, if something breaks, I obviously want to fix it because I don't want it to be broken or I don't want something to be broken. And with this one, it's like everything that I touch, find something new that's broken. I don't get it. Eventually we'll run out of things to find that are broken, but let's go ahead and jump to the interior lights. Let's get the interior lights working. Then we'll jump to the tail lights, get those working. And then we have an LED relay to put in the car, so that way we don't get the hyper flash stuff. So I figured if we were fixing bulbs, we might as well just upgrade, go to LED, make the car a little bit brighter. So let's do some interior stuff first. And we have one broken. That bulb is actually like broken. One. I don't know why that's there, but it is. Look at that. We got working map lights now. Like that. Shut that down. Beautiful. All right, old. Dude, that one's physically exploded. There we go. Look at that. License plate lights. You know what else is messed up that I still gotta find? The entire trunk set up for this car. I don't know why, but every single GD chassis, the entire trunk is always missing somehow. I don't know what people are doing with them, but they always go missing. Swap our taillight out, we can start swapping out bulbs. There's red. That one's not lighting up. That one's, I'm pretty sure this one's brake though. Good. Let me check reverse. That should be white. Good. I'm gonna hit the brakes and see if that one lights up. Not crazy noticeable. This side we have LED now. It don't look bad. It looked pretty good. This side we have basic halogen. I don't want to say the LED looks brighter, because honestly it doesn't look much brighter, but it does look a little bit better. Now keep in mind, all the bulbs that we did pull out were white, that were for the red lens ones. So all of these three bottom ones are now red LEDs. So they stick out a little bit more on the red side than on the white side. Like if you look at this side, they still look red, but they don't look nearly as red as the other side does. Interesting. I'm just glad that they all work. That's really all I'm trying to do here. So I figured we'd upgrade to LED versus using halogen, just to fix all of our lighting problems. Just went in and I swapped out the relay. I fixed the hyper flash on there. It's in a spot where I can't really do it and show you guys, but I can show you guys where it's at. If you come into your driver's area here, to the right of the steering column, underneath of this panel here, you're gonna see one 3-pin relay. Where's that? It's that guy right there. So I'm just gonna zip tie that up. We have no more hyper flash. Easy deal. Let me get that guy zip tied up, and then our lighting, all of our lighting for the most part should be fixed. I don't have any running lights in the headlights, but I don't think I'm gonna worry about that right now. Actually, I do. The running lights are the headlights. There, we should be good there. The Hawkeye's just a little bit better. It gets better every single time we work on this thing and every single time we fix these problems. Like I said, there is a reason that 02 to 07 WRX STIs, they cost so much money if you want a clean example of one. If you don't want a clean example, you can buy a cheap one similar to this, and you can go through just like I am and fix all of these dumb little problems. And you know what? You never know. It could be worse problems. It could be less problems. It could be more problems. It's always a toss-up with these older ones. Like I said, they're nearing 20 years old, and they've gone through a ton of owners. They beat the shit out of them. They blow them up. They half-ass put them back together, get rid of them. It goes to the next person, so on and so forth. More shit breaks, and it ends up in the hands of somebody who actually wants to take care of the car and get the car to a reasonable level. And then you got to go through and do what I do, where you're fixing missing grommets, out lights, painted over crap, a whole bunch of stuff. And then it starts to add up. So, I mean, genuinely, for those of you that want like a project like this, it's not a bad way to do it. But keep in mind, you buy the car for cheap, you buy it with a blown up motor, you're gonna be spending money to fix the motor, you're gonna be spending more money to fix all the little problems. Like, you can make it your own car, but at the end of the day, like, there's a reason why these cars cost so much money for a clean example of them. It sucks, because I remember back in 2014, I bought my first Hawkeye. It was an 07, it was UGM. I loved that car. I sold it for a 2017 WRX brand new, or 2016 brand new. I regret doing that, but you know, with our Hawkeye, like I said, every little thing that we fix on it and every little thing that we do to it it's getting better. I just ordered our new blow-off valve for this thing. I got the Precision 50mm one. It's a little bit smaller than the tile Qs, so it should fit up in that area nicely. Like I said, I can weld that on and have minimal to no leaks, but it's just like that billet flange on an aluminum pipe. It's just kicking my ass, man. I can't do it. And that's all right. We get better, we keep practicing, and we do the stuff in the thing. So that's all I got for you guys on this one. Hawkeye is getting there. Our bride seats shipped out, so those will be here in a couple of days. Some of our Defi gauges are on back order, so we're waiting for those to ship out, and then we can get those in. I'm still waiting for my ATI triple gauge pod anyways. I did talk to the paint shop. They're kind of booked out until early March, so it looks like the STI is rocking with some white flares for another month or so, but it's not the end of the world. Like I said, I don't think it looks all that bad, but like I said, that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you like the video, you know what to do. Go and hit that like button, turn to black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, sight, and whatever color it turns for you. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be, put it in one of these corners. No idea which one quite yet, but with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies. Woo!